All right, welcome back to the TCI studio. Mr. Recruiting, TCI, Gavin Oliver joining me today so we can talk a lot about the past 2 weeks of Dabo Swinney camp. This segment, we're gonna focus on the guys that came to camp and left camp and picked up an offer. Again, we'll reiterate this because this seems to come up a lot on the boards. Clemson does not offer until the summer before the junior year. A lot of other schools are offering kids that are 9th graders and 10th graders, and now they'll show a lot of interest and obviously give signals that offers may be coming, but they won't offer until this time of year. So for this year's camp is more about the 2021 guys and 2022 guys really than it is the 2020. Just a few of those that were targeted. So some of those guys came to camp last 2 weeks and left with an offer or got an offer shortly after the camp. Gavin, let's talk about some of the headliners that picked up offer the last 2 weeks.
Well, one of the headliners is DJ's teammate from St. John Bosco in Bellflower, California, Bo Collins, a 2021 four-star wide receiver who visited for Monday, left on Thursday with the group of prospects from California. That included DJ, but he worked out on Tuesday and Wednesday with Coach Scott, and he picked up an offer, and a huge offer. Hopefully you saw our story on TCI with Bo. We've got his comments in there, but I mean, needless to say, it was a huge offer for him. I mean, he talked with us about the chance to play with DJ at the next level, how big of a deal that is for him. And I mean, obviously they built a rapport and a chemistry there at St. John Bosco, and now with Bo getting the offer, he's got a chance to continue that.
When he got DJ worked out with him. One of the sessions while he was there, so he actually got to throw to his, his buddy there. So that was kind of cool. And I think he was also in the group that worked out with EJ one day, right?
With EJ too as well. And so it was easy to tell that he and DJ have a good connection. We could just tell that from what we got to see. And so that was definitely one of the headliners. He's excited about the chance to play for wide receiver. You continue that legacy of great receivers. Another big ones, a couple of the big ones, speaking of receivers who's going to be throwing on the ball, the quarterbacks. Clemson extended their first 2 quarterback offers in this 2021 class. Drake May, he worked out at the camp the first Wednesday of the first week. He picked up an offer. He's the son of Mark May, former North Carolina star quarterback, and the brother of Luke May, who starred for the Tar Heels in basketball. And so he's a UNC legacy recruit, but he's told me that, hey, people can say what they want to. They can automatically assume that I'm going there, but I'm going to make my own decision. I'm going to do what's best for me at the end of the day and not anybody else. And so we'll see. I mean, this is obviously a big offer for Drake, and Clemson's definitely going to have a shot. He plans on coming back for another game. He's not really close to making his decision right now, but that was clearly a big offer for him, and we'll see what happens. It's not going to be an easy pull to get him away from North Carolina to the state for Clemson, but they certainly got a shot. And the other quarterback they got offered who came this week was Eli Stowers from Texas, actually. So he was another one that looked great. He picked up an offer, and so Clemson, you're starting to see them determine their direction at the quarterback position now.
He was one that really caught my eye, and the 2021 QB situation is going to be interesting to watch because it's going to be, the right kind of player that will say, hey, I'm going to go to Clemson knowing that DJ is going to be there.
Absolutely.
They're going to have a lot of the same years there together. So it's going to take the right type of person that's not scared to compete. Somebody like a Chase Bryce that comes in and is willing to play their role, wait for their chance, make the most of their opportunities, and know that one day they'll hopefully get the reins handed over to them.
Absolutely. That's a big part of what Clemson's look for when they're in their quarterback offers is that drive to compete and that they're not afraid to come in there and mix it up, and they're confident enough that they're good enough that they can go out there and beat out anybody in camp. So that's one of the big qualities that Clemson looks for.
So the question is going to be who jumps on that. Does somebody jump early and say, hey, I want to take that slot? May only be one quarterback in that class, possibly 2, but maybe only 1. So, it's going to be a small group, and somebody may say, hey, I want to jump in front and take that.
Right, and one of the quarterbacks that was supposed to come camp, Brock Vandergriff, who many thought was, he's a Georgia quarterback, many thought that he might be the guy that the Tigers pulled the trigger on an offer, but he actually he didn't show up on that Wednesday, and Drake made it the week before, and Eli did as well, and those were the guys who they pulled the trigger on. But that kind of shows you. I mean, not saying he didn't want to come in and compete, but maybe that was a factor in him not showing up to the camp. Is DJ being there, and those other guys did come, and they showed Clemson all they needed to see.
Who were some of the other guys that picked up offers? That's another position.
Tight end. Actually, 2021 4-star tight end Jake Briningstool from Tennessee. He participated in all 3 days of the second session of the camp and left campus with an offer from Clemson. Cornerback position, an offer was extended to 2021 cornerback Nyland Green from Georgia, Covington, Georgia Newton, actually, the same school that produced Darnell Jeffries.
Now back to tight end, didn't we have a couple offers there?
Jake Briningstool was the main one, and also in the previous week, 2020 Sage Ennis from Tallahassee. He also got offered, and that was big too. He's actually planning on making his decision soon.
And that's one of the few spots in the 2020 class where they're still looking for a player. For him to pick up that offer 2 weeks ago, that's a big deal.
That is a big deal. He was planning on going to camp at some other schools with his school, but then after that, he's expected to make his decision. And Florida State was believed to be the team that was going to get his commitment, unless Clemson decided to kind of muddy things up.
Muddy the waters. We're on the same page.
And Clemson did that. So I think Clemson's in great shape right now. It might just be a matter of time.
Now they had the number one tight end for the 2021 class also in camp, but they haven't offered him yet.
They haven't offered him. Kane Barong from Hartwell, Georgia, just down the road, really, not very far away. He has an offer, but he believes that one's going to come in time.
So coaches, go ahead and offer him. He's a great Tour of Champions visit. He's like 20 minutes, 25 minutes from the house. Great place to go watch some Friday night football.
Yeah, and we watched him, and he certainly looked the part of it. Number one tight end in the country. Great size, fluid movement. He was impressive when we saw him. So I think it's just a matter of time before they do that.
Another tight end that didn't get an offer, but Clemson was Herbstreit.
Yeah, all right, Zach Herbstreit. Yeah, Jake and Ty Herbstreit participated in the camp last year, and now they walked on to Clemson, and be interesting to see if Zach does the same. But it was good to see him out there this week.
All right, what's another position we got some offers? I know defensive tackle. We had a big headliner there on Thursday.
We had Curtis Perry, 2022, big time 2022 prospect that's got a bunch of offers already.
And again, going back to Dabo's rule, Clemson can't offer him yet.
Yeah, exactly.
But he got lots of love.
He's got lots of love from Coach Bates when he was first there. And then Coach Bates introduced him to Brent Venables, and then Lemansky Hall came over to say hey. Later on, Xavier Kelly came over to say hey. Miguel Chavis was chopping it up with him, so he was getting a bunch of attention. He's one that we're going to be definitely tracking in the next class, in the 2022 class. Another big one that got an offer this week was DeAndre Boykins, an athlete who worked out at the start of camp on Thursday when we saw him at running back position, but he can also play defensive back too, and he was offered by Clemson as an athlete that could play either one of those positions. He looked good at running back. He's got the size to play either of those positions. Great athlete. He's actually...
Now he's an interesting case,
right? He's an interesting case, a really interesting case, because his older brother is South Carolina Gamecocks freshman linebacker Derek Boykins. So they're from North Carolina, the two brothers, Concord, North Carolina. So that'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Yeah.
Who else we got on the offer list?
We got Jeremiah Trotter from Jeremiah Trotter Jr., son of former
Y'all probably remember that name.
NFL linebacker Jeremiah Trotter, goes to Philadelphia, St. Joseph School in Philadelphia. He got offered this week. We've got Dakari Collins, a 4-star receiver from McEachern High School in Georgia. Got offered this week as well. We mentioned Bo Collins already. There was a linebacker from Virginia that participated in camp this week, Malik Newton, who got off. He worked out for Brent Venables on Thursday as a linebacker. He also worked out as a running back
as well, right?
During the week, and I think linebacker will be the position that he winds up playing at the next level. He was another offer, and I think that pretty much rounds out the list.
He was one I saw. We saw when he showed up. I saw Coach Venables waiting for Dabo to get through sending all the players to their spots. He wanted to make sure he introduced him before they got that particular session going. So we knew he was like, okay, this guy's definitely somebody to watch.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, there was a good double-digit amount of offers that went out this week. Those are just the camp offers. Those are not even the non-camp offers. But we're seeing a flurry of offers go out right now, as Robert mentioned. The summer before their junior years, when Clemson starts offering, and we're seeing that.
And Clemson only offered around 100 for the 2020 class, so they're not going to offer a ton. And there'll be more offers that come out of the camp. Again, the coaches kind of took off on vacations and other things. So, these offers that we just talked about, those are kind of the, no-brainers, 100% sure. There's a lot of other guys that are tossing names around and discussing for offers from the camp. So I expect we'll see a lot more coming from camp as well.
Absolutely. Well, we're definitely starting to see the beginning of Clemson setting its course for the 2021 class.
All right. Hope y'all enjoyed this segment. Want to go through and try to summarize all the offers for you guys. Obviously, Gavin's written about those the last couple of weeks, but want to talk about those today, get a little more in depth on those folks. And stay tuned to TCI. We got a lot more coming on the past 2 weeks of the Dabo Swinney High School